Renzi in Liguria. Wrong in answer with a denouncer in Taggia. Genoa, traveling to Liguria, Matteo Renzi had an unexpected intermezzo at Taggia station, where his train stopped to allow him to visit San Remo, whose station is unfortunately hardly workable. The man, with a certain decision, but without exaggerating, approached Renzi and began to propose a series of controversies. From the house to the banks, from the state budget to the household budget, the leader of the PD accepted the confrontation, and between them was born an animated bout and response, documented above from Roberto Pecorar's video. Renzi at Tristan, a selfie for Carlo Conti. At Tristan, Matteo Renzi devotes a selfie to Carlo Conti before meeting with mayors, from San Remo Alberto Biancheri to Ventimiglia, Enrico Iacculano, to talk about public employees together with the Minister of the Palmariana Mattia. An excellent choice, that of San Remo. This city 2 years ago was put on the saloon for the sake of one who stamped the card in his underpants, explained the National Secretary of the Democratic Party, wondering if PA work could be ridiculed in that case. The case, which Renzi and Mattia explained, was the basis of the change of the law on dismissals of unfaithful employees in PA. Thanks to us unfaithful employees, those who, for example, joke with the card can be fired in 48 hours, Mattia and Renzi explained. To date, there are 40 cases of redundancies registered after the new legislation. Following that investigation in my municipality, 32 employees were dismissed and 80 others suspended for €35,000 in aerial damages, but we still provided all the services, said the Mayor Biancheri, but in cases like these it is also necessary to speed up the procedures for recruitment. The San Remo administration will succeed in replacing it with competition, and only half of the employees lost in the spring. Renzi in Genoa ironizes on K.N.B.T. Totti and T? It looks like Sandra and Raimondo. So joked by the National Secretary of the PD Matteo Renzi during his visit to the construction site of Bissano, the batch that will be completed by 2022. To welcome the Secretary of the DEM, the chairman of the region Giovanni Totti, as the extraordinary government commissar. In 2014, we released resources and unlocked works and yards in securing funding, explained Renzi, welcomed in Genoa by a crowd of PD supporters, as well as by pavimento workers, construction works on the motorway sector, which sent a letter and requested his intervention to prevent the entry into force of the new Code of Contracts, which in the debate in Parliament introduces the obligation for motorway dealers to entrust 80 of the work through the races and only 20 directly. I will commit myself personally, but I will not guarantee anything. At the House we have the numbers, but the Senate no. Needless to hide it, from the beginning the Senate was a problem and we made the wedding with dried figs. Renzi emphasized that talking about hydrogeological disruption in Genoa is not a campaign. The government has spent €9 billion on the hydrogeological disaster in Italy. It is necessary to spend them and not to block them with tar, the ex-premier recalled at the site for the safekeeping of Bissano. The president of the Toti region also wanted to point out that on a number of things, such as the struggle against hydrogeological disorder, a great country must cooperate beyond political colors. Next stop on Renzi's trip to Liguria this afternoon is San Remo, where along with Minister Mattia will meet the public employees. We are going to the city of the crap of the card to talk about what we did for the public employees. Between Genoa and San Remo, on the train destination Italy, Renzi met singers and Ligurian musicians. And soon before, always with Toti, another curtain on the Museum of Cantautori, financed by the region and government. Go Giovanni, go to the end that you will make the card. PD, of course. The first stop at Sarzana. Renzi, shortly after 9 a.m., came to Sarzana for a visit to the shipyards Intermarine, then resumed his destination Italy train to Genoa. The stage of Sarzana and more generally of Liguria is in the sign of work. We are at Intermarine, a fact that only 10 years ago was dead and buried, and thanks to the investments of the K.N.B.T family and the entrepreneurs of the territory is broken down. Next to this there was a great investment of government, 5 billion with naval law. PD Matteo Renzi, secretary, said at the Intermarine shipyards in Sarzana, the first stop in Liguria of the Destination Italy train tour. Renzi was welcomed by Managing Director Livio Corgi and two Cullinino, Roberto and Matteo. He took a few minutes to visit, greeting company workers and engineers. We still have 1 million jobs, we have already made 1 million in these first 3 years, added Renzi. The shipbuilding district has a future in all areas. Here we are talking about 200 jobs that could become about 80 more with projects and funding that you are working on. We have to work because jobs are growing. These are safe for a long time, which is also due to the government's help with the Job Act, continued Renzi, urging him to stop complaining. This company competes with a South Korean company and a Spanish company globally. We can have excellence like this that increases jobs, he said. The program of the visit. The program of the former chairman of the council, on the Ligurian day of his Destination Italy tour, is very dense. Already at 9:10 Renzi will be in Spezia for a visit to the shipyards Intermarine, then will move to Sarzana, where it is scheduled to leave its train in the direction of Genoa, where it is expected to arrive at 11 a.m. The third stage is scheduled to take place in San Remo, where the secretary of the PD is expected at 14:45 for a meeting with the local administrators in the reduced Tristan Theatre on the topic public administration with Minister Mariana Mattia. Finally, last stop at Carcare, in Val Bormida, for a visit to Noberisco at 17:45.